There's nothing wrong with being rich. What's wrong, deeply wrong, is being poor in today's world. Because poverty in 2025 isn't just about not having money, it's about not having control. You can't afford to say no, you can't afford to take time off, you can't afford to make mistakes. And yet our government keeps punishing the people who work, earn and employ others, while handing that tax money to people who don't. What happens when you do that? The working people stop working, the investors stop investing, and you literally tax yourself out of your own economy. That's the Laffer Curve, and it explains exactly why raising taxes doesn't always mean raising revenue. The Laffer Curve is simple but brutal logic. At 0% tax, the government earns nothing. At 100%, it also earns nothing because nobody works for free. Somewhere in between is the sweet spot, the rate that still rewards effort while funding the system. Push past that point and revenue starts falling, not rising, because people change behaviour. They work less, reinvest abroad, or move their companies offshore. It's not ideology, it's maths and human nature. In the 1980s, Thatcher inherited a Britain taxed into exhaustion. Top rate was 83%. She cut it to 60, then 40, and revenue went up. Reagan did the same in the US, rates dropped, growth surged. France tried a 75% super tax, their wealthiest left, revenue fell, and they scrapped it. It's the same principle over and over. Squeeze too hard and the system breaks. Even the British Empire learned it the hard way. 65 nations walked away because whether it's people or countries, no one wants to be over-controlled or over-taxed. Freedom always finds a door. Fast forward to Britain 2025, top income tax rate is 45%, corporation 25%, employer NI rising to 15%, had dividend tax, frozen thresholds, and inflation quietly dragging directors into higher bands. And many small company owners now lose 60 pence of every pound they earn once you count employer NI. You can't remove 60% of incentive and expect innovation to sprint. The Laffer curve starts to play out in real time. Companies start shrinking hours or outsourcing, investors freeze capital, skilled people switch into limited companies or moving abroad. The state collects less real money as productivity slows. We're past the sweet spot. Britain isn't short of talent, it's short of trust in its own system. So what can you do about it? You can't rewrite government policy, but you can build your own structure that protects your profit. That's what holding companies, SPVs and group setups are for. They're not loopholes, they're the legal framework that allows you to move money, separate risk and keep more of what you earn. If tax policy is built on punishment, your job is to build a structure based on protection. And that's exactly what we do at Tax for Pros. We help business owners build the kind of architecture that survives any chancellor's budget. The Laffer curve shows what happens when governments overtax. Your structure decides whether you survive it or not. That's why I created the tax game plan. It's the first step to understanding how to pay yourself efficiently and get the foundations right. Once you've nailed those basics, you can join our YouTube membership. Inside, we go beyond compliance into genuine strategy, multi-entity planning, group relief, tax-efficient reinvestment, and the advanced structures that protect profits no matter what Westminster does next. And when you're ready to have it built and managed properly, month by month, that's where my team at Tax for Pros come in. We design, implement, and maintain the system that keeps your money safe from bad policy and short-term politics. Also, if you're one of the 86% watching who isn't subscribed yet, please hit that button. If you care enough to stay to the end, you're exactly the kind of business owner I make these videos for. Download the tax game plan below to get the basics right, join the membership for the advanced planning, and when you're ready for us to take over the heavy lifting, book a call with a team. I'm Sarah, helping business owners build wealth, not just businesses. See you in the next one.